Okay, so talked about shadow mapping last time with a little bit of geometric forms. This time we'll work on a little bit more complicated of a subject. Okay, and so we're going to shadow map out the picture on the left there. Just a random photo I found on the internet when I typed in still life references. And you kind of see where I finished with mine. And I'll have these up in the room if you want to see them if you're in class. Same sort of process, just a little bit more complicated. Still slow down, take your time. Just as a kind of reminder of the steps. You're going to start with that rough gesture drawing, make corrections and increase your drawing accuracy. Again, you should spend a lot of time in this category. Then you'll map out your shadow shapes, paying attention to what type of edge you're mapping. Then you'll shade in your dark family 1 flat value. And remember, we're doing starts. If you do enough starts, the finishes will take care of themselves. So, starting off with my rough gesture here. Real simple. I've even bunched the grapes together. I didn't even draw out the grapes individually so far. I'm just kind of got their overall shape. And you can see I'm kind of drawing through my forms. You can kind of see, the pears through the bowl and the bowl through the pears, depending on what part you're looking at. Then I'll go in and fix that up, make everything feel a little bit more solid. Start laying in you can still kind of see, if you're looking at this up close, you can still kind of see the outline of where I had the original grapes shaped in at, and then I kind of start pulling them out a little bit at a time, knowing that most of the ones in the background are just going to be shaded in 1 flat value. Again, spend a lot of time on this part. Do not feel like you need to rush through the accuracy portion. This took me a while. Okay, there's a reason we're spending 2 days on this. Then I'm going to map out my shadows. You can kind of see here I'm getting overall shapes first. I'm kind of mapping it out with the edge of my pencil. I'm also treating a lot of these different objects as if they are objects that are similar geometric forms, right? If I look at this pear here on its side, it is basically just a cone, which you should have practiced drawing last Wednesday, right? When you look at the shading there. If you're getting a little distracted by all the different characteristics, my big advice would be to squint. If you squint, that sort of simplifies your values a little bit, makes it so that some of the things that you think are light are really not. So for example, if I kind of squint, I can see that bottom pear, it kind of has a highlight on the right side, but it's still a part of the dark family. It's not nearly as light as the left side of that pear is. And so I'm going to keep that in there. Then I go in and, you can see here where I finished mapping out all my shadows. Something to kind of keep in mind, though, is the overall value. Okay? I didn't map out where my reflected shadows are. I also didn't map out a lot of the grapes on the right? As a bunch, if the grapes were one solid object instead of a bunch of little tiny ones, they also have a value, right? The grapes on the left are lighter, and they slowly get darker as they come around to that right side, almost as if the grapes were a big ball of grapes. Keep that in mind well. Don't lose track of the fact that a lot of the grapes on the right side of that bunch are shaded. Okay, and so I've mapped them out here. Here you can kind of see what that finished product is like. I even kind of recommend when you're mapping out the pear, you might want to use straight lines instead of trying to find it all curved. I found that extremely useful. That's usually how I try to map them out. And so there you go, real simple. I'll include the photos and all that jazz again. I'm expecting you to spend a couple days on this and not be done in 20 minutes. All right. Should be getting to a point where these drawings are taking longer and longer because you know more and more and aren't just winging your way through it.